for the 8th straight year.
Like every team, when you go into the game, you expect to win, and certainly thought we were going to have a better outing, but we didn't. So it is emotional, just because I think you know how hard it is to get to January the 13th and be in a playoff game. You're talking an 8-9 month deal, and to come up short again is tough. But a lot of good this year. I think as the dust settles, you can appreciate more of that, but certainly disappointing finish.
Your 8th straight AFC Championship game, and it's a rematch against Kansas City. This time, though, in Arrowhead. What can we expect from that one?
It'll be a good game. They're a good team, and we played them earlier this year. I know, everyone thinks we suck and, can't win any games, so we'll see. It'll be fun.
And that, kids, is how a guy with 5 rings motivates himself in year 19, and he will no doubt find more reasons this week going up against a team that he beat by 3 points in week 6, but who is favored to win this weekend, the Chiefs with Pat Mahomes and that high-flying offense, which will be really fun to watch against this defense that kept the Chargers in check. Just 19 yards allowed on the ground. That's 1.9 yards per carry. Phillip Rivers with an 81 passer rating, sacked him twice, hit him 7 times. David Carr, they got totally under his skin. How did they do it?
And that's the beauty of what the Patriots have always done. We always hear that they take away what you do best, and sometimes there's different levels to that, right? So you look at it and you say, okay, if we can make them throw the football, maybe take away the run game. Okay, that makes sense. Take away Keenan Allen. They kind of did that, except for the one play when he beat Stephon Gilmore. But really what the beauty of what they did was the pressure that they got on Phillip Rivers, making him make great throws under duress with pressure in the A-gap. And he had to move off of his spot and make throws. Phillip's not a guy that's going to go win a 40-yard dash race. Tom Brady isn't either. But that's the greatness of Phillip Rivers, is the throws he can make from the pocket. Look at this. Even when he takes his initial 3-step drop from the shotgun, he has to take 3 or 4 more steps off of that spot to move out of the way. Sometimes he just dumped it at the line of scrimmage. Sometimes he had no place to throw the football. But the pressure was consistently up the middle of the pocket, and he really had no time to set his feet and feel comfortable. He made some big-time throws because that's the type of player that he is. But there's other times where he threw it over the heads of players. But it's just so difficult when they're specifically taught a certain responsibility, and then they do that over and over and over. And you could see Phillip, we were talking about, he went through the gamut of emotions, just frustration, anger, like what else can I do? There's not much you can do. They beat you that day.
No, and it strikes me watching that how different the strategy will have to be for this Patriots defense from this week's game against the Chargers to next week's game against the Chiefs.
Correct.
You mentioned
they'll adapt.
Getting Phillip Rivers off the spot. They're going to keep Patrick Mahomes on it because, right, you get him off of the spot, and that's where he does his damage. Pat Mahomes and Tom Brady and Tyreek Hill and Julian Edelman and Sony Michel and Damian Williams and these 2 coaches. This is going to be so fun, you guys. It's the late game of the weekend at 6:40 Eastern on Sunday. In the meantime, a lot of coaching news coming down in the last few weeks, including in New York, where the Jets introduced their new head coach today, Adam Gase, who they're obviously very familiar with, having been in the division for the last 3 years in Miami. For more on his first impression with his new team, Kim Jones is in Florham Park.
Adam, we talk so much about a winning culture. How do you establish that here?
Well, it's going to start with putting a good coaching staff together. We're at the beginning stages of that. We're going to have to be patient. There's a lot of opportunities for us to get some good coaches in here and really evaluate the guys that have already been here and see if there's guys that we want to retain in the organization. And we're starting that process, and it's going to be one of those ones that always takes a little longer than you want. And then once we get the players in here, we really hit the ground running and do everything we can to put them in good position to win games.
One of them I guarantee you want to retain is Sam Darnold.
Yeah, no doubt.
What do you think of him?
He's a guy that really, especially towards the end of the season after he came back from injury, phenomenal job at the end of the season. I know he was fighting and scratching and clawing to try to win games at the end of the year, and you see him play and you see the aggressiveness that he tries to fit balls in windows that are tight, and he's completing them. And the way that his pocket presence is outstanding. And you can see he had great command of the offense towards the end of the season, and hopefully we can kind of really get him going that direction with our offense.
Got to put you on the spot. On a scale of 0 to Peyton Manning, who you know well, how good can Darnold be?
I mean, I'm not going to – you're dealing in hypotheticals right now. Not going to do it. I mean, it's – we got a long ways to go right now. I mean, we haven't even put a coaching staff together. So once we get that done, then we'll be able to move on to the next step.
Gase, one of 6 head coaches officially hired since the season ended. We've also seen some big names hired as assistants, too. Vance Joseph in Arizona, Dirk Cutter in Atlanta, Steve Wilkes in Cleveland, and Mike Munchak leaving the Steelers to coach the Broncos. In a lateral move, he will still be the O-line coach, only in Denver now. He's being called the Phenom, the KC Kid, the MVP, Lefty. But it's nuance, not nicknames, that tell this story. To understand what Mahomes is doing, you have to watch what he's doing. Close up, in slow-mo, again and again. After the break, we're going to do what Belichick's going to do all week. Film study.
Diving for the far front pylon. Touchdown!
On the prodigy called Pat.
Apparently, the Cowboys didn't see the sign. The Rams reserve the right to refuse service to anyone, especially Zeke. We'll show you how Elliott left L.A. game after a 2-point conversion. But late fourth quarter and 4th and goal, Sean McVay says, get in there and go for it. Could have kicked the field goal, made it a 2-possession game. He wants it a 2-touchdown game. Ended up winning by 8. Now, if I told you there were going to be 200-yard backs in this game, you would have said, okay, fine, Zeke and Gurley went off. You know who outrushed both of those guys? C.J. Anderson. What an acquisition in the last month or so. He goes for $123. Gurley goes for $115. Zeke quiet on the day. Here are the winners.
Defense does a great job of stopping the offense and putting us in great field position. And like I said, it starts with control the line of scrimmage. Obviously, we want to have that balance between running pass and, whatever working for us. Some games JG is going to light it up. Some games, the run game is going to be there. And then some games it's going to be both. So, just trying to find that balance.
When you think about what our team is, we always talk about attacking success, never fearing failure. And I think that really just personifies kind of our team mindset and mentality. We wanted to come out here and play fearless tonight. We felt good about the opportunity to be able to try to punch that in from where we were at. CJ did a great job leveling that thing off. And, the players delivered.
McVay coaching tree is just going to grow. He keeps winning like this. The game that kicked off divisional weekend, little snow game at Arrowhead.
No problem.
The red-hot Colts against the bye-week Tyreek Hill-led Kansas City Chiefs. And someone want to tackle him?
It's like my son's flag football game.
Just kind of running,
catch the fastest guy.
The safety, number 35, that's what he was doing, just running next to him, looking at him.
6-yard touchdown there. Then Mahomes can do it with the wheels. He dives into the corner for the short touchdown. Mahomes had 278 yards passing and that rushing TD. Chiefs handle the Colts really from start to finish. It was all Kansas City. They will now host the AFC Championship game. We came into this game with the Colts and the Chiefs saying it was a matchup of two quarterbacks that combined for 89 touchdown passes during the regular season. Mahomes comes out the victor here. Andrew Luck and the guys going to go into the offseason trying to get home field for them next season. Here are the winning quarterback and coach in KC.
It was a great win. I mean, the defense stepped up big, played great all game long. Offense, we started fast, had a kind of a dry spell, but we finished it off in the end. So it's a great team win. We get the opportunity to play here again next week, so we're excited for that opportunity.
It was a great all-around effort. I thought our defense stepped up and just did a heck of a job against what I think is a good offense, a great quarterback. So all the way around, everybody contributed. It's important this time of the year that you do that, and when you bring that and the fans into Arrowhead, it's tough.
Let's dig in with a little film study right now on the Chiefs and Rams wins, respectively. DC and Willie here with us. David, Patrick Mahomes, yeah, he might win the MVP in the regular season. This was his first playoff game.
Yeah.
And he showed us more spectacular stuff.
It could have been a lot of pressure on him.